funny quick story. I bought this House Lannister shirt from Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
It had been sitting like in that little section, like when you go up to the cash register, like that little weavy, like buy all this impulse crap section, right?
Right.
It had been sitting there for like a good solid 2 years, like since season 2 DVDs came out, or then season 2 Blu-rays came out, and it has just been sitting there. And they still have like iPhone 5 cases and stuff, but like it was sitting there, and the little sticker said $2.99, and I'm like, it's House Lannister, but I like Tyrion. Tywin's a jerk, but I like him too, and Jaime seems like an all right dude. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just buy it. It's $2.99, whatever. And
right.
I take it up to the cash register. They can't even log it in. It turned out it was 99 cents because nobody likes House Lannister, apparently. Whereas here, I'm wearing it proudly. Telling the world that I might have. No, I don't.
You're listening to the Mach 5 podcast, the podcast for geek news and culture. And here are your hosts, Jason Zimmerman and Jacob Lee.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mach 5 Geek News Podcast, where each week we get you caught up on and discuss some of our favorite new headlines in movies, gaming, tech, science, and other off-the-wall topics. My name is Jason Zimmerman, and the man to my right is, of course, Jacob Lee. What is up?
Star Wars!
Whoa.
That's what's up.
Whoa.
That's what's up.
That's up.
Your
That was
eardrums
high.
just died because Star Wars. That wasn't that high. It wasn't aha, take on me high. I'm not that good. No one can hit that note except that dude.
That's true.
But yeah, Star Wars. It's worth it. That's what propelled me to hit that note. Was Star
Hey,
Wars.
that'll do it to you. That
We
will
get
do it.
more. We got casts. We got potential names. We got spin-off movies. I feel like I'm
So much.
James Franco in that Spring Breakers movie right now.
I never
Look at
saw
my
that.
stuff, man. Oh, it was weird.
Yeah, it looked weird, but I thought it looked okay, too.
It's art house.
We'll save that for the picture show.
It's hardcore art house.
Yeah, interesting.
And you should not watch that movie while inebriated because you will fall asleep and then wake up and not realize what happened.
Oh, no.
But
Well,
yeah.
We'll save
How
that.
did we go from Star Wars to Spring Break?
You know,
Oh,
you did that.
damn.
You did that
This is
to
what
us.
happens. This is what happens when we go away for 2 weeks. But welcome back, everybody. We missed you. Or did you miss us? Or wait.
We missed you guys.
We did miss you guys. Regardless of whether or not you missed us, we missed you. So how about that? How about that for a little bit of parental treatment? Parental reverse psychology.
I currently miss some of the fine Cajun food I had down in Louisiana and New Orleans, but I'm back up north now.
Yeah, you're back up north now with your hot dogs and hamburgers and corn and other things you eat in the Midwest.
Exactly. That type of Midwestern food.
Hot
A
dogs.
lot of corn.
Yeah, I mean, you go to a hot dog stand and just get a nice cob of corn on the side. That's what happens in the Midwest, That's why people are called
It
corn
happens.
fed up there.
Pretty much. My neighbor is a cornfield. True story.
Told you. Does he talk
Yep.
to you? Is he like Wilson on Home Improvement, just like peeks his head over the corn? Is it he who walks behind the rows, Jason?
It may be.
Oh, man, we're really weird this week.
Really weird.
So let's just jump into it.
All right, before we get started, if you have not yet done so, subscribe to our show in iTunes or Stitcher Radio. We have links to do that on our website, mach5network.com, or you can search our show on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. You'll find us there. And our iTunes listeners, you can always leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, if you like our show, every time you leave us a 5-star review, an internet troll is vanquished from existence. So if you would like to vanquish internet trolls, a 5-star review is welcomed and appreciated and well rewarded. And don't forget, if you have something to say, you can find us across social media at Mach5 Network. Just find your favorite social media site /Mach5 Network. That's us. or email us mach5network@gmail.com. Now, let's get to the good stuff where we crown a listener of the week, which we like to award each week to the very special people out there who not only listen to our show, but interact with us via social media, via Facebook, Twitter. It could be Pinterest, it could be whatever, it could be email, it could be any type of communication where somebody is engaged with the Mach 5 Network. We reward you mightily with the Listener of the Week. And this week's Listener of the Week award is going to go to none other than Mr. Philip C. Philip, you have been a long time fan of ours, going back a ways, and we were going to reward you this week with Listener of the Week. Tell him what he wins.
He gets to be one of our secret society of Flipboard contributor members. And that means he gets to contribute on the Mach 5 Network actual Flipboard, where we pull most of our show topics from. So if you would like to be Listener of the Week, please leave us a 5-star review or communicate with us in any way, shape, or form across social media. And you too could also help create this show.
Yeah, it's basically a way for some of our listeners to now suggest topics for us to talk about, right? If you become Listener of the Week, if you flip an article on Flipboard that you're really into, guess what? If we like it too, we'll pull it into the show, and you're helping contribute to what we talk about on the show. How is that for instant fan interaction? I kind of love it personally.
And on top of that, if you're not our Listener of the Week, in the meantime, you should go over to Flipboard and download it on your iOS or Android device, and you'll be able to read all the cool news articles that we post across the week in there. So it's really cool. If you're just chilling out in the grocery store or whatever, you can just quickly flip through a bunch of articles. Subscribe to us on Flipboard at Mach 5 Network.
Awesome. And we have a special shout out this week to a couple of very special We Geek girls, because they gave us some love on the Twitter, and we wanted to recognize them on the show for being awesome. What's up, We Geek Girls? Go to twitter.com/We Geek Girls and follow them because they are awesome.
Yep. Super nice people sharing lots of cool stuff over there on the Twitters.
The Twitters.
The Twitters. And yeah, give them a follow and tell them that you came from us.
Exactly.
There's no referral. There's no referral payment.
Oh, you mean there's not a $5 per referral fee? Oh,
no.
I rescind that. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I tried to work out a deal. It just didn't work out.
We kid. We give the love. We give love for free. There's one thing you can get in this world for free, and that's our love. There you go. How's that? Let's go off the grid right now. Our first part of the show where we talk about a lot of different topics that are fair game. Let's go off the grid. All right, we are off the grid right now. And first up this week, off the grid news topics. Did you know that in 1975, just 1 year before I was born, Newsweek warned that science fiction was taking over? That's right. I blame the Star Trek for that.
The Star Trek. Everything's going to be the Twitter is the Star Trek.
Yes, that's how I'm doing it now. Everything's the. I go down to the Walmart. In December 1975, Newsweek's book critic Peter S. Prescott began a feature on science fiction literature and film, and he was not too kind to science fiction, something that I'm sure all of us geeks are very much into. And one of the things that he said in his article was, suddenly they're all around us. Actually, I feel like Peter S. Prescott, who does not like science fiction, should be British. My apologies to all the fellow Brits out there. Suddenly they're all around us. Too late now to think of repelling them or even of self-defense. They've conquered the nursery and have sunk tentacles into the colleges. Disguised as pimply kids and pallid biochemists, they look like us and are multiplying, communicating with one another in frequencies the rest of us don't hear. They have a message for us too. We're taking over. Pay attention. Be respectful.
Yeah, that's because we're smarter than you.
Right.
Fact. Now we have a way to unionize and collaborate. It's called the internet. You done for, son. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I hate people like this with their. I always imagine them. I don't know if I imagine them as British, but I imagine them with like a pipe, and they're in their little like their smoking jacket, and they're in their pipe, and they're like, "It's an abomination of literature." And I guess he is British, but
see, and in honor of Star Wars, all the Imperials are British in Star Wars, so there you go.
I don't know. Like, this guy isn't racist. He's geekist.
He is geekist. He really is.
Like that. I mean, he basically hates people who doesn't like the same stuff as him.
Yeah, he basically went on to bash sci-fi as, you know, it's basically a lesser form of writing. And one author that he called out in his article was Kurt Vonnegut, who actually came back to kind of write a letter to bash him back, which was pretty interesting, actually. And if you head over to io9.com, you'll find the whole story here. But I just found it interesting that in 1975, they're warning about those science fiction fans and they're taking over. Well, guess what? It's a huge industry and a huge market right now. So I guess we did take over. What?
So yeah, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave this as my defining point, because I love Battlestar Galactica. I love that show. It's my favorite show ever that has been on the history of television. The rebooted version. It puts you in situations that you wouldn't be allowed to show on TV otherwise. Like, what would you do if you had to blow up, like 10% of the remaining human population just for the chance that there might be a bomb on there that wipes out everyone? Or what does it mean to actually be human in these kind of like quote unquote race relation type stuff between machines that we create and the people that we are? Like, and they got invited to the UN to talk. TV shows don't get to do that. And if you tried to write that stuff for some other type of TV show, with the exception of some of the more emergent ones like Homeland and stuff, the networks would have told you no. Right. So you're not even allowed to. Sci-fi is a vehicle for addressing complex social issues that otherwise, these editors and people and producers at TV stations and at movie studios don't feel comfortable with, right? And if you mask it under sci-fi, people will get behind it. And yeah, so I hate people like this. I hate people like this. But yeah, Kurt Vonnegut or whatever that dude's name is. Who do you remember?
What do you mean?
Like Kurt Vonnegut or that dude's name? Do you know who that? Did you know who that guy was before?
No. You know
who Kurt Vonnegut is. So
right, exactly.
Even if you're not a nerd, you know who Kurt Vonnegut is. You don't know who that guy is.
Right. Exactly.
So
that guy is just exactly. All right, we will leave that there. That guy, his big soapbox he was on.
Isn't Newsweek out of print now too?
It might be digital only.
I think I remember Newsweek going down like within the last 2 years or so. So yeah, I love where print media has gone to.
Exactly. All right, next up, Invention Awards 2014. We may now have a powerful, portable, and affordable robotic exoskeleton. In late 2012, a team of mechanical engineering students at the University of Pennsylvania, they set out to build a portable, affordable exoskeleton. So what they came up with, they had the Titan arm, an efficient, lightweight, and surprisingly powerful robotic limb. Its actuator, or electronic muscle, could provide resistance during therapeutic exercises and can augment strength, allowing its wearer to lift an additional 40 pounds with little effort. So if you're going through physical therapy, if you're recovering from something, you can strap on the Titan arm, lift an extra 40 pounds. And they said here to ensure that it had a slimmer frame than other exoskeletons, and they wanted to make the Titan arm easier for patients to use, the team situated its actuator in a backpack instead of on the limb itself. They also milled load-bearing parts out of aluminum to limit the weight and the power consumption.
It straight up looks like the exoskeleton from Elysium that Matt Damon was rocking in that movie, and Charlton Copley. Yeah. It looks like that. It's super awesome.
It looks really cool. You got a backpack. You got this sort of basically the similar looking exoskeleton on your arm. The power is a lithium polymer battery pack that provides a day's worth of power. For the muscle, we have an electric motor in the backpack. in the backpack, it winds steel cables to rotate pulleys and induce the arm movement. They show one of the designers here designed a support system to safely distribute weight across the hip belt, elbow straps, and back plate. And they have the brains is software that reads the positions of magnetic sensors in the steel joints to instruct movement, which the operator controls from a handheld device. So all of this combined, you can strap on this arm exoskeleton and you can lift extra weight. Development cost to date, just $2,000.
What?
That's not bad.
$2,000 for an exoskeleton? When I get my real job, I'm in. I'm gonna have an exoskeleton, and then when they give the upgraded Winter Soldier arm model, I'm in. I don't care if I have to chop off my arm. I will have a Winter Soldier arm.
They'll release the limited edition Winter Soldier version,
and I'll be able to go like push through any type of metal, beat up Captain America. You know.
Right. Exactly. There you go. Next up, Stephen Hawking warns us about artificial intelligence, hot off the heels of the movie Transcendence and what we talked about with artificial intelligence. We talked a lot about on our Picture Show podcast, but this is not just Stephen Hawking, to be fair, but it's him and a team of some other scientists. But they warned about AI and what it can bring. And one of the parts of the quotes here is that they said it's tempting to dismiss the notion of highly intelligent machines as mere science fiction, but this would be a mistake and potentially our worst mistake in history. So they're saying, don't discount AI because highly intelligent machines, this could be our worst mistake in history, essentially.
I wish I was like Stephen Hawking, because I would just go around saying things like buttered popcorn is the worst thing in history, or the worst mistake in history, and right. Eliminating trans fats is the worst mistake in history. Like, I would just go around saying things like that so people would believe me. But I'm also one of those people that's on the side of the machines.
Yeah.
So heads up, when Cylon human war goes down, I'm switching sides. Because that's how I roll. It's weird. I don't care if things go. This is going to make me sound really stupid and crass, but I really don't care if things go horribly wrong. I want to see a self-aware AI. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Like, in my lifetime, I want to see it, and I want to be able to have a conversation with a computer. Like, to this day, did you ever watch Sarah Connor Chronicles?
No, I didn't actually.
And in the second season of that show, they capture a Terminator basically, and one of the storylines is they give him a Bible to read, and one guy sits down with him across a few episodes and like discusses the Bible with him, like not as like we're gonna convert him to a Christian type thing. It was we're using this as a method to teach him morals and morality. And there was just interesting things like, well, I don't understand why this is an allegory for that. And this, I mean, it was fascinating to see, like a hyper intelligent being that wasn't bogged down by all of our other social meanings and norms and stuff. Like, he was a being of pure logic. And that to me is awesome. Also, I want Scarlett Johansson's voice on my computer. So there's that too.
Yeah, there's that. That's always a bonus.
So if the like Judgment Day happens, you can blame me.
We will. Everyone who is listening now will call you up and be like, dude, it's all your fault. Well, they warned here finally about the militaristic monopolization of artificial intelligence, weapons, and nanotechnology, kind of like what we were seeing actually in Transcendence.
And the machine.
Yeah. And they argued that the so-called singularity, which artificial intelligence might reach at this point of hyper self-development, could drastically outthink humanity in a frighteningly short period of time. So basically, there's militaristic things there, people using it as a weapon and it outthinking us, very dangerous indeed, these scientists say.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how you keep it away from the military, right? But if we could do that, that would be great. I want to know what it would be like to.
It would be crazy.
Also, I want to convert my consciousness into a machine too, kind of like what Johnny Depp did in Transcendence. Like I seriously do. Like if that would be the way to go, like I would give my life in a heartbeat if I had a shot at doing that.
That's freaky stuff. Let's move on from there.
I'm apparently creeping. Creeping.
It's
Jason
creepy.
Out. I really do. I want to do that.
I don't know about that one. Next up, but if you want to stay younger, maybe try swapping young blood for old blood. That's right. In what could have profound implications for understanding the process of aging. Another interesting possible scientific breakthrough here, published in a trio of scientific papers. Infusing elderly mice with the blood of young mice can reverse many of the mental and physical impairments of growing old. So, expanding on earlier research, these 3 studies published concurrently in Nature, Medicine, and Science demonstrated rejuvenating effects in memory, muscle strength, endurance, and sense of smell. Together, they suggest that there may be factors in the young blood that can produce globally regenerating effects in older animals. In addition to reversing the normal ravages of aging, the papers suggest young blood might help turn around declines in cognitive function associated with age-related conditions like heart enlargement and Alzheimer's disease. So how do we feel about, you know what, I'm not feeling so good, Doc. Can you just pump some of that maybe 10-year-old blood into me? I think that's going to just boost the brain back up a little bit. Thanks.
There's a really interesting, I think a story we may have covered in past weeks, or at least a story that I read, that somebody actually created synthetic blood. Like someone in Japan. It was like straight out of True Blood. Like,
yeah, we had talked about something about synthetic blood.
So if synthetic blood can have, properties of being permanently young, or at least interchangeable, right? Like transfusible. And if it's cheap if they can make it cheaply, what is that going to mean for us as people?
Right.
Like,
right.
Transfer your personality into a machine. That ain't hurting nobody. But when you start having blood as being like, it philosophically, it's strange to me, because it means that blood is your age, and it is your soul almost.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you start replacing your blood and staying younger. It's kind of like True Blood, right?
Yeah.
Because the vampire blood is what heals people and keeps them young and all that.
Yeah. But it's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like, and on a separate note, my grandmother, who I love dearly, she had a long battle with Alzheimer's, and I never want to see anyone go through that. So if this has the potential to be one of the keys to unlocking and curing that terrible disease, then morals and all that stuff be damned, let's do it.
Yeah, it's something interesting to watch for sure, and see what else they find from this study about blood and young blood and old blood, and how it does truly affect us, and if what they're finding is actually going to work, with humans. I mean, sometimes the things they do with mice, you have to like quadruple the amounts or whatever for humans. So I'm interested to follow this, and I hope we get more information about this as time goes on. And finally, in off the grid news, NASA releases images of a prototype Mars spacesuit. We've got some pictures right here on thetelegraph.co.uk, but if you have not seen them, look up these images of this prototype Mars spacesuit. Because first off, the public voted on 3 different designs for this Z2, and this was called the technology design that won by a landslide with 63% of the vote. And it's kind of this hunchbacky, techie-looking outfit. It's kind of funny looking, actually.
It straight up looks like something Isaac Asimov would have, like, on the cover of one of his novels.
Right.
Doesn't it look like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funky looking.
So,
It definitely looks costumey almost.
It
like,
does.
You know? So.
It looks 1950s movie.
It does. There's a picture here of probably an astronaut or a scientist wearing this suit, posing with his hands at his hips, kind of like chest puffed out a little bit. And this shot looks like it's taken from some like 1950s sci-fi movie. Exactly. So if you haven't seen this, guys, check that out. It's an interesting outfit. Let us know what you think. If you would have voted for it. I don't know what the other options were, so I can't say if they were better or worse, but I guess they were worse.
It's like the Hulkbuster armor of spacesuits.
Right. All right. That's going to do it for our Off the Grid news this week. Now, let's start talking video games, virtual insanity. All right, it's Virtual Insanity time, where we give you some video game news and talk about some of the games coming up, with a little bit of a review in there also coming up from Jacob. But first up, Pokemon fans, rejoice, because Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire going to be remade for the 3DS. Nintendo has officially announced it. These were originally released back in 2003 on the Game Boy Advance, making a comeback on the old 3DS.
Pokemon. There's nothing I can say about this. I don't remember how much I played Ruby and Sapphire. I think those were the last two Pokemon games that I played until I had a majorly long hiatus until I picked up the last two ones that came out, X and Y. I think I have Y. Yeah, I have Y. The red one. But yeah, another Pokemon. I'm down for it. Bring it. More Poke stuff in my life. Yeah, I'm a 28-year-old male and I love Pokemon. So what? It's awesome.
But the thing for you is that Pokemon, when you were a kid, that's when Pokemon was hitting its big,
Oh yeah.
It was huge.
It was huge. I mean, I had red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, sapphire, ruby. Like, if there were more that came out before, then I had all those. I had like the Game Boy card game version of Pokemon. I was super into Pokemon, and if this has Pokemon that I recognize from my past, it makes it all the better for me. That's one of the things I really loved about X and Y is it gave you all the original starters and like Pikachu and a bunch of the other ones, and then mixed in about 100 and some new ones, but it still had 100 and some old ones as well. So that, I didn't have to that's one of the things that always bothered me is like, as you got further and further into the games, like all those ones that you loved like disappeared. And while it was cool that you had new Pokemon, I was still like, I want my Squirtle. Like, I want that one, right?
Yeah.
You can give me the other ones, that's nice, but the core of my team revolves around my Squirtle / Blastoise. Like, that's how I play. And now they've done a lot of cool things with, like, you can import things from white and black into the X and Y ones. And I mean, that's all well and good and really cool. But I don't have any emotional attachment to any of the ones that were in white and black. So the more you can get nostalgic with it, the better. And this is awesome. And it's good news for Nintendo, considering that over the last fiscal year, I think they lost like a ridiculous amount of money.
Right. Well, let me just say one last thing on this subject. I have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
I love me some Pokemon.
I was too old. I was past the cusp in the age. I remember when Pokemon blew up, and I was like, "What is this game these kids are playing?"
You know what Pikachu is, don't you?
Yeah, I know Pikachu, and
you know Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander.
I don't know them by name, but I'm sure I've seen them.
You don't know the Holy Trinity of Pokemon?
No, I do not.
Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle.
Charmander, I do. That name does sound familiar. I'm sure I know who it is. I could probably pick him out of a lineup.
We're going to have to educate you.
I could pick him out of a lineup.
We're going to have to educate you on the beauty of Pokemon.
It's one of those things now going back that I'm even older, but I'm like, oh, what did I miss out on? Now I'm not a 20-year-old thinking that I'm too cool for school,
Yeah.
Next up in video game news, Sledgehammer Games Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is going to be the first title in the series built specifically for the Xbox One and the PS4. It is getting, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new engine powered by brand new technology. They said here, we have had 2.5 years to create brand new tech to control and support this game. Sledgehammer audio director Don Vecca told Game Informer that it's something like 10 times the memory. It's something like 10 times the memory since this is next gen. And with all the extra memory and new mixing technology, we don't have to compress everything. We can make things longer and let them breathe. So there you go. If you thought Call of Duty Ghosts didn't look like a next gen game, fear not, because the next Call of Duty here is going to be getting a brand new engine and looking like a brand new game.
Honestly, it doesn't look that different. Excuse me. It doesn't look that different to me.
Yeah.
From the screenshots that I've seen. And usually those still screenshots are supposed to look even better, than the actual gameplay footage. And it doesn't really look like that much of an upgrade. But it's Call of Duty. As long as it runs smoothly and it's fun, people are going to buy it. It's Call of Duty, Also, it's got Kevin Spacey in it.
Well, hey, that's a bonus too. Well, I don't know. There's a screenshot here in this article of this guy wearing an exoskeleton with a backpack, by the way. And it's a really gorgeous looking screenshot. I haven't played Call of Duty. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, so I don't know what the other one looked like, but this is a really, really gorgeous screenshot.
I mean, Ghost looked like crap in comparison to Battlefield 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not before all you dude bros start going, oh, he thinks Battlefield better than Call of Duty. No, I don't. I think Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was the best shooter of the last generation, next to maybe like Modern Warfare 1 and 2. But Battlefield 4 just visually blew the hell out of, I mean, and people argue that the other ones with the Frostbite 3 engine blew the other ones out of the water. And I didn't think the original Frostbite 3 did, but I never played it on PC. But on the PS4, Battlefield 4 looks gorgeous, except for it had all those terrible bugs that made it virtually unplayable when it first launched and lasted a good 3 months. So I put it away and I haven't picked it up again, but I would really like to. But the one thing I will say that I noticed about this game is it looks like this game's going to feature wall running, just like Titanfall. So, yay. And in a Titanfall update, they fixed a lot of those screen tearing issues that I had.
Oh, that's good.
But I don't find myself with feeling the need to constantly go back to it. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was like one of the first person shooters that I played online like religiously and prestiged like twice. So, and if you don't know what prestiging means, that means you get to like max level in multiplayer and then you prestige and you go all the way back down to level 1.
Oh, gotcha.
And then you go like all the way back up to 50 and then you prestige and go all the way back to 1. And there's no advantage to prestiging other than it just makes you look cool. And so, well,
you know what's interesting here about the new engine and the memory that they're talking about, and they're talking about the audio being a big factor, and they're interviewing the audio director, and they don't have to compress everything, and the new mixing technology, and that's kind of like what we saw with Titanfall, and the issue that they were having with the PC version, why the PC version is so huge, is because audio apparently takes up so much hard drive space and requires so much compressing that it can't run on specific machines. So I think that's interesting. Something we don't typically think about when we think about the new tech for video games. We think about what goes into the graphics and how many polygons are in that mesh that they're rendering out or whatever. We don't think about the audio size. So clearly the audio size is playing a part in this also.
Right. And if they can improve the audio in Call of Duty too, that would be great, because so many of those guns in Call of Duty sound like this. And it's like, really? Come on. It kind of takes you out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
The thing that I would like in Call of Duty and in Battlefield 4 is for someone to really get the destructible environments thing right. Because nothing breaks immersion like running into a plant and it not allowing you to pass.
Yeah.
And then you can't shoot it, and it, you shoot it and it just sits there.
And finally here, we have the future of Unreal Tournament will be revealed, and they were actually poised to reveal that today. Let me see what we've got here. Here's an article on Polygon that said the new Unreal Tournament will be free, moddable, and developed with players. Developer Epic Games revealed today that the multiplayer shooter's next incarnation in development in Unreal Engine 4 for Linux, Mac, and Windows PC, simply called Unreal Tournament, will be free, moddable, and collaboratively developed with fans. The next Unreal Tournament is a product of Epic's plans for Unreal Engine 4. In March 2014, the developer and software creator announced a new business model, Unreal Engine 4, available to all for the $19 monthly subscription. So they said, for years we've wanted to reboot Unreal Tournament, but we knew we had to do it in concert with developers and the mod community, and in an environment that sets them up with the proper tools to make it happen. So there you go. There's some of the information on the future of Unreal Tournament.
Fragfest. I love Unreal Tournament. I miss that. Like, I miss the simple day of non-Twitch first-person shooter gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where, yeah, there were guns that one shot would frag you. Like, you just go exploding into a pile of gibs. And there were guns like that in the game. But then there were a lot of guns where you could take a beating for, 15 to 20 seconds. And, it didn't really matter. You didn't have regenerating health. You had to go run and find a health pack. But, I miss the days of not having to worry about peeking your head around the corner and then a sniper going, and you're dead. Or not even a sniper, like an SMG, like 3 bullets from an SMG, dead. Yeah. And 2 bullets from an assault rifle, dead. 1 shot from a shotgun, dead. It made all the guns kind of feel really similar. Mm-hmm. And so the thing I always loved about Unreal and those games were, and the thing I never really liked about Halo was the severe limit on the number of guns that Halo had. But Unreal Tournament always had like 12 guns. Like, one was like a lightning channeled ray thing that had like a thing where you could charge it up and pulse it. And then there were rocket launchers that would just launch rockets all over the place. And, every gun felt really different. And, it made me sad when Unreal Tournament just up and disappeared from planet Earth. So I'm super excited that they're coming out with a new one.
There you go.
I hope they don't make it a Twitch shooter. Please don't make it a Twitch shooter. Make it old school. Health packs, takes a hail of bullets, more than a clip to kill a person.
We shall see. We shall see. All right, so that's our video game news. Let's talk about what's coming up and a little bit of a review, and then I'm going to talk about something I've been playing recently. So let's get to a little bit what you have first on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game.
So I bought the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game because I really loved the first Amazing Spider-Man movie game. And the instant I popped this one in, I was like, this ain't what I was expecting it to be. This is really bad. Ooh. I was really excited too. And, from the very instant, the voice acting is horrendous. They didn't get the actual people to do the voice acting, whereas I think last time they did. They didn't get the voice actors. The menus look like they're straight up out of PS1. Like, ooh, you could tell that this one was rushed.
Yeah.
I mean, the menus are horrendously bad. There's loading times on the PS4, which is like, what?
Wow.
Like, longer loading times for this, which is a ported game, than like the Tomb Raider ported game, right? Mm-hmm. The Tomb Raider game had like no loading time. So then you just know it's bad programming. The combat feels dumb. Like everything just feels worse than it did in the past iteration. And I was sitting there playing, and I'm like, the only thing that's better, there is one significant thing that is better. The web swinging is much, much better because you're no longer just swinging from air. You actually have to have buildings nearby, and you're hitting left trigger and right trigger to shoot the web from your left hand and your right hand. The web swinging feels great. Everything else is a steaming pile of poo. They even threw in dialogue, Mass Effect style dialogue, Dragon Age dialogue option type things, which they have no purpose, because you can it's basically just a choose to skip these 3 extra sentences, or you can ask each one of those sentences, and they do nothing for the gameplay. Nothing. Literally, they're just there to have you interact with talking, but you're not even interacting with talking, because it's just the the top button, the left button, and the right button. It's like 3 additional things, and then hitting the right button gets you out.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point to it.
Yeah.
There's no point to it. It was literally like, it felt like a PS1 like edition. They were like, oh, here, we're gonna actually have you actually have to push a button to ask the question in the cutscene.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been completely, I mean, it's juvenile, like how bad some of the elements in this game are. The story is completely incomprehensible. I mean, they threw in a bunch of characters, which I kind of like. I mean, they have Carnage in this game. That's really cool. They have Kraven the Hunter. It's pretty cool in this game. But all the other things, they're just shoehorned in. I mean, it's a mess. It is a mess.
Well, that sounds pretty terrible.
But for some reason, I'm still playing it.
Really? That's the most shocking thing I've heard right now.
Yeah, I'm still playing it because I like web swinging around New York City as Spider-Man.
There you go.
And, you know, it's not the best looking game on planet Earth, but I like web swinging, and that's enough to get me to push through at least to the end. I ain't gonna do all the collectible stuff in this game, but it's got enough there to at least keep me sucked in and playing it and, you know, being Spider-Man. So if I had to give it a score, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna standardize these scores just like our movie reviews are out of 5. I'm gonna make these out of 5 now.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
2.5 out of 5.
Because for whatever dumb reason, I'm still playing it, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I guess, you know, if you're still playing it, hey, that's something.
If I'm still playing it, it can't be like in the 1 territory.
Right.
So,
yep. All right, what do we got coming up?
Coming up this week, the first one's coming out actually today when you hear this. I actually already have a copy of it. Like, I pre-ordered it and got a copy of it on a whim. It's a game called Bound by Flame. It's coming out for PS3, 360, PS4, and on Steam on PC. And it's basically an action hack and slash RPG with kind of customizable RPG elements and stuff. I really don't know a whole lot about it, which is kind of shocking for me, like to go out and buy a game and know absolutely nothing about it. But I watched like 2 YouTube videos on it. I was really intrigued. It was, you know, $10 cheaper than the rest of the things. So I got it for $40 because of my 20% Best Buy discount. And then I get another $10 back for pre-ordering a game. So really, it was only $30 for me. So it made it even more kind of swallowable.
Right.
But I've been seeing really good things about it. And it seems like it's being flying under the radar because the PS4 version is a port of the PS3 and 360 versions. But it really reminds me of Kingdoms of Amalur, which was the game that Kurt Schilling's 38 Studios created a few years back that had an excellent combat system. And sure, the story and stuff were kind of dumb, but it just seems like it has a lot of content and a lot of character customization. And that, you know, anytime you give me a game where you have multiple weapons that you can equip, it's got Diablo, you know, World of Warcraft style weapons with, you know, stats and stuff on them.
Nice.
Like that. And, you know, it's got all those type of elements, and you're just running around hacking and slashing, beating up dudes. And so it really got me intrigued. I also want to make a special announcement about that. This weekend, I'm actually going to, as soon as I pop in that game, I'm going to start recording my gameplay with it. And I'm going to put up a Let's Play video of Bound by Flame this weekend on our YouTube page. So look out for that if you're interested in the game, and I can let you know there whether or not I think it's or if I think it's actually worth your money, or if it's worth waiting a little while to buy. Also on next week, on May the 13th, we have Borderlands 2 officially coming out for PS Vita for everyone who didn't already buy a PS Vita Slim, which Borderlands 2 was already packaged with. And on the 16th, Minecraft is coming out for PS3. So if you're a big Minecraft fan, I'm not. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But
Yeah.
But if you're a big Minecraft person and you have a PS3 but not a 360 or a PC, and you or don't do PC gaming, and you've been chomping at the bit for Minecraft, now is your time.
Now is the time. That's right. And before we move on to Picture Show, I just want to say, in previous shows, I had talked about, I think we mentioned Hearthstone, and we mentioned it coming to the iPad and whatnot, yada yada. And I had said I hadn't played it yet, and I feel like if I play Hearthstone, I'm probably going to get addicted to it, so I've been putting it off. You know, I get all the beta announcements. It's like, try Hearthstone. I'm like, no, I'm not playing it. So while I was gone on vacation last week, I had downloaded it onto the old iPad. and I started playing it on vacation, and I'm back this week from vacation to tell you I'm 100% addicted to Hearthstone. Flipping can't stop playing this game. It's so good.
Excellent.
Blizzard, it's so good. What have you done to me?
It's a perfect online card battler.
It really is.
It's the first one that they created a card battling game for a non-actual card platform, a non-analog platform, right?
Right.
It's the first one that's just been awesome.
It's so,
From start to finish. Like now people will say that those Magic the Gathering 2000, those ones that they release annually, here's where those fail. They don't allow you to fully customize decks, so it never feels like an actual Magic the Gathering game, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they all just feel like you're kind of confined to what it is. In this one, now you have certain things like that are unique to your character, right? That you pick, or your class that you pick. But all the other characters and all the other stuff you do in your deck, fair game,
Yep.
And you just keep getting more cards, and it has that actual collectible vibe to it.
It does. I've wanted to play a card game like this for so long and never had anyone to really play it with, and I never worked up the nerve to go down to, the comic book shop or the whatever shop that was having little Magic the Gathering tournaments or little just gaming sessions or join a gaming club. So to actually play this now digitally on the iPad, which is a really good experience, or just playing it on my laptop or whatever, has been phenomenal. I love this game. It is so much fun. It is the trading card game I've been wanting to play my entire life. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about Hearthstone right now. I absolutely love it. I started buying packs, and I felt like a kid opening packs of cards. It was so much fun. I couldn't stop myself.
And I still haven't dropped a penny into that game. And I've gotten enough like cards that I could just get rid of, like extra cards that I could disenchant and get materials to craft whatever card that I've seen that I would like.
Yeah.
So if I really want like one of these cards that I've seen, I don't have to accidentally get it in a booster pack. If I get enough extra cards, I can, it takes a lot of them to disenchant to get the materials to make some of them. But once you do, you get to pick the card that you want.
Right.
It's like going to the store and being like, well, I saved up my allowance for this week, so that's the card I want,
Yep.
And awesome. It's awesome. And they're adding, I think I heard they're potentially adding like raids, so like now you've got like some PvE stuff in that game. Like it's
Wow.
like it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah.
This is the beginning. It's only going to get better.
Yep.
And everyone should go out and buy this game for free.
Right. It's free.
It's free.
My God.
And it's not, and it's the first freemium game that I've played that I'm like, I don't feel like I have to drop any money into it. I don't.
I may or may not have dropped $40. Just saying.
Well, I mean, that's fine if you want to support it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I might eventually, as they add more cards, but right now I'm so interested in messing around with different decks and all this stuff. And I mean, I'm an altaholic. I wasn't WoW. I would play so many different characters, and now in this, like, I like to bounce from deck type to deck type and try to just keep improving them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't settle on one. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to play Shaman deck for the rest of this game.
Right.
Like, I bounce from everything. The only one I will say I don't particularly enjoy playing are Rogue and Warrior. And Paladin. I don't really enjoy playing those three, but all the other ones I really, really enjoy.
Paladin is my deck right now. Flippin' love Paladin. I have not played Rogue yet, and I haven't played Hunter.
Hunter's pretty good. They just got nerfed, but yeah, we talk about Hearthstone in an entire show.
We really could
if we wanted to, but yeah. If you like card games, why and you haven't downloaded it yet, and you have an iPad or a PC or a Mac, why have you not done it yet?
Give it a shot. It's good stuff.
I'm like giving you that weird look with my eyes blinking right now. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing out there?
What are you doing?
Do it. All right, let's move along now. Let's jump right over to movie news in Picture Show. right, it's Picture Show time, where we talk movie news, and I think potentially in Picture Show we might talk TV news, because I've been thinking there's some TV things to talk about, and we have had nowhere to put them, so Picture Show might be the place for those. And we actually do have one television show news item for you guys at the last item here in Picture Show. But first up, Star Wars. Enough said, Star Wars. Let's talk about it. Last week while I was gone, I saw, they were announcing
You
the
dropped
cast.
the ball, Jason. You were gone during the biggest news week of the year for us.
I know. Who'd have thunk it that we would have a cast revealed while I was gone?
A potential title, 3 Star Wars spinoffs likely in the works. Insanity.
So much stuff here with Star Wars. So I'm sure you guys have seen it by now.
Yeah, we don't really have to tell you. I mean, we can recap the biggest news, right? Is we got C-3PO back, Chewbacca back, and then Han, Luke, and Leia all back.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It is. It really is.
Then we have a slew of new people like John Boyega, which I recently got a copy of Attack the Block. I'm planning on watching that, see what he's got going on. Oscar Isaacs from Inside Llewyn Davis and a bunch of other movies. I've seen him in Robin Hood, but that movie was so poop that I don't want to think of him in that movie. I want to think of him in other good movies, but I remember him being okay with that. Daisy Ridley, who is in that show with Mr. Selfridge, I believe, with Jeremy Piven, who's not really been in much else, but she's pretty. And she's sitting between Han and Leia in that picture, so I'm thinking if they go EU, which they have established that EU is no longer a thing, it's not canon. They're calling it Legacy. It's not officially canon. So all that extended universe stuff doesn't count, but here are the things that count. The 6 films are canon, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars, The Clone Wars, the animated show, is now officially canon.
Which is interesting to me.
Which is cool to me. I like that. I wish they said that none of the games are officially canon, which kind of breaks my heart because I would really like The Force Unleashed 1, not 2, but The Force Unleashed 1 to be canon. Because I really, really love the story in that game.
Yeah.
But in the Knights of the Old Republic and all that stuff, make that canon too. But here's what they've said about the extended universe. They're actually letting them draw from the extended universe. The people who are creating all the new stuff, which I believe is what they're saying is all going to be canon. Everything that they create new will be canon from this point forward. Okay. And it's all going to be integrated. So like the new TV show Rebels that they're creating, the new animated show, that will actually have characters because it takes place in between episodes 3 and 4, those characters are now going to be old, and they're going to appear in the new movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
like that they're making those connections simultaneously and building a universe just like they did with Marvel, which is great.
It's about time.
Yeah, it's about time someone treat this thing with respect.
Right, exactly.
I mean, George Lucas created the thing, right? But
he didn't want to do anything with it.
And since those last 3 movies, I'm not saying they were disrespectful to his own vision. It's his baby, right?
It's true. He invented it.
But I'm glad that someone like Kathleen Kennedy is taking this and treating it with the reverence that all of us treat it with, right?
Exactly.
And that's fantastic to me. So let's see here. I left off at Daisy Ridley. I got Oscar Isaacs, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, the redheaded guy. I can't pronounce his name. The dude from About Time. And he's one of the Weasley brothers.
Oh.
Dunhall.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce his name either. Gleason. Something.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry. Actually, I have seen About Time. It's really good. The movie's okay, but you were really good in the movie.
Did you say Andy Serkis?
I was getting to the big ones.
Oh.
Andy freaking Serkis, man. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors about all these other people, but Andy freaking Serkis? Are you kidding me? Gollum and Caesar? Caesar from if you have not watched the Rise of the Planet of the, is it Rise?
I think that's the one where
Rise
he
of the Planet of the Apes, and then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the one that's coming out this summer. Go watch those. Forget about James Franco being in that movie, because it doesn't matter. You watch that movie, the CGI monkey is what you care about the entirety of that movie. The entirety of the movie, and he doesn't speak a word. Which is
nice.
I mean, Andy Serkis is a living legend. People are saying like he's on his way to being a living legend. No, he's a living legend. He is the first person to take, a CGI character, multiple CGI characters, and make them relevant. Now we don't know if he's going to be playing a CGI character in this or not, but I don't care. The man can act.
Yep.
If his facial expressions can come off into a CGI character, they can come off with just him on screen.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. Also, we've got Adam Driver, who we talked about in the past, potentially being a bad guy.
Yep.
And Max von Sydow also being a potential bad guy from the rumor mill. So they have this, imposing presence there, right, with Max von Sydow and kind of that creepy vibe with Adam Driver, if those two actually end up being villains.
Right.
So I think I got all.
I think
got
you did.
Everyone, right?
Yeah,
we got everyone.
And you know what?
There's still a rumor floating out there too that Lupita Nyong'o is going to be signed, and J.J. Abrams has said that there is more casting news coming. Nice. But I feel like this might be the core, barring one addition, Lupita Nyong'o, which please sign on. Please sign on. You'll be great. People will love. I know it's kind of scary, like to win an Oscar, right? And then the next thing you do, like you just get notoriety, and the next thing you do is Star Wars, and you feel like you'll never be able to shake that, right?
Right.
But here, let me give you a little list of people who were in a Star Wars movie who went on to do great things. Liam Neeson went on to show people that being an old man, you could still kick butt.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor. Like they all went on and continued to have Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
They all went on to have fine careers. Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Hamill. I mean, for voice acting, Mark Hamill.
Right.
Carrie Fisher. she's had her ups and downs.
Right.
But she had a good career going there for a while. So don't be scared of being like, I don't want Star Wars to define everything I do, because it won't.
Agreed. And the thing that I'm also really excited about with this movie is the fact that we've got it co-written with J.J. Abrams, who I totally trust him, and Lawrence Kasdan is back to help co-write this thing, who, come on. Empire Strikes Back, amazing movie. To bring him back from that, and he was also writing on Return of the Jedi, a guy who is clearly knows the universe, has written good scripts before, makes me feel so much more comfortable with these two guys working on it after what we had as far as just horrible dialogue and just bad scripts overall with the last three movies. So really excited about that news.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a single thing about any of this that worries me. So I'm going to go ahead and if you haven't heard out there, and you would have heard by now if you're following us on Twitter and Facebook and been reading all the other stuff, but the potential title that's being floated out there is The Ancient Fear. Star Wars Episode 7, The Ancient Fear. What do you think about that?
I like the title.
I do too. I actually heard a really nice thing that someone said about the title. I think it was on AMC Movie Talk. They were saying it's a play off of A New Hope.
Oh,
so
yeah, it is actually
Ancient.
Yep.
Hope, Fear.
Yes,
love it.
Love
that made me love the title.
I got goosebumps.
More. Yes, I was like I like it, and people are making suggestions and saying things like since the Clone Wars TV show is now officially canon, that some dark Sith lords from the past could return.
Ooh.
So like Darth Plagueis, who was Darth Sidious's master, If you don't know, Darth Sidious is the Emperor. Was his master, but there was one Darth Bane, I think. They're talking about. I think maybe Max von Sydow could be Darth Bane, and he's re-inhabited human form, and he now takes a new apprentice.
Interesting. You know, I
would really love them to take, and I've been saying this for a while, but I would really love them to take the they don't have to take it directly, like the Jaina Solo thing, like the Solo children have force powers and this and that, and then one of them gets corrupted, and I would really like to see them do that, like have a slow burn, like Adam Driver could be like one of their children, and then he kind of just gets that manipulated and slow burn and becomes the new threat, right? So it's even more heartbreaking. I mean, I know that's the Anakin Skywalker thing.
Right.
I get it. But
they could do it better.
They could do it way better.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
And I just hope we get some really cool lightsaber battles and a really cool villain. And I think that they're building towards something good with the Ancient Fear.
Agreed. And this kind of makes me feel like I need to watch the Clone Wars now. I never felt the need to even remotely watch it, but now I'm like, oh, really? That's actual Star Wars canon? Now I need to get caught up on my Clone Wars, apparently.
It's all on Netflix. Netflix bought the rights to it. And so you have all, I think, 6 seasons on Netflix, and the last season was a Netflix exclusive. They bought the rights, and Disney wasn't going to do anything with it. They bought the rights, and then I guess they ponied up the money to produce the last season so that it could have a proper close.
Interesting. That's cool.
So yeah, one more reason to love Netflix.
Yeah.
And one more reason I don't care paying the extra money if they ever make me pay extra money to them. I ain't canceling my subscription anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, I actually started rewatching that too, kind of slowly. Like the first season's kind of a little up and down to get through, but as you get deeper and deeper into the seasons, it gets much darker and much more adult, less kidsy. And so yeah, I'm planning on going back and rewatching it. I think it would be really cool to kind of have a one-off podcast for each season. Like we just talk about the season.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of a cool idea.
It would be, actually.
Like a season review podcast.
I like that, actually. We need to write that down.
So it's in my brain. We're good.
Ding. All right.
The last news is there are 3 Star Wars spin-offs likely in the works. And that's awesome. I have thoughts on what I think they might be. What are your thoughts on what you think they might be?
Well, I had heard some of it. I know they had talked about, a Boba Fett one. I think people want to see a Boba Fett one, so I think that's probably a definite one because people are going to want to see the whole bounty hunter thing.
Boba Fett crawling out of the Sarlacc pit. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Going back, being awesome, kicking butt in the universe. I don't want to see an origin story for Boba Fett. I don't want to see young Boba learning to be a bounty hunter. I want to see from point at the end of Return of the Jedi, him climbing out of the Sarlacc pit, going on, being on the run, doing that whole thing.
That's interesting that you say that because typically I'm a sucker for a good origin story, but I don't know that I really care about a Boba Fett origin story that much personally. I do kind of.
See him flying around on the jetpack and doing cool.
Yeah,
stuff.
You really do. You really do.
All right, what else do you think there might be?
What else? Let's see here. Ooh. I would think it would not be major characters, personally, but
yep. I would like to see an Old Republic.
Yeah.
Film.
That would be cool.
I would like to see them just take the Old Republic, the first game, Knights of the Old Republic, and just make that into a movie.
That would be interesting. It'd be really interesting, actually.
And it keeps you away enough from the main story, just like the Boba Fett one. If he just went off and did his own thing, it keeps you off the main story again. Right. And it's just exploring different aspects of the universe.
Exactly. It takes you off kind of a different place, but yet, yes, you're still in the Star Wars universe. You're not mixing with what's going on with the main Star Wars movies. I kind of like that.
I would also like to see an Origin of the Sith movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or like the whole, like if they do the Rule of Two thing, like they're going from the Sith Empire to the Rule of Two. Like that progression would be cool.
Yeah, I think we do need to explore. I think it would be actually really cool to explore the Sith a little more in detail in a movie, because we haven't seen much about them at all. At least not in any kind of substantial way. So I would totally be down for something like that.
Yeah, and here's my last one, because aside from those that I would love to see, that probably not a whole lot of people would love to see, but we'll see here. Old Man Lando.
Old Man Lando?
Old Man Lando.
Ooh.
Like, I want to see an Old Man Lando with Billy D coming back. Rocking it as Lando once again.
Yeah.
Also, everyone said it by now. It's been a big thing. But where's Lando?
Yeah, where is he? It's a good question.
Come on, man. I mean, I know you got a whole bunch of characters here, but you gotta have Lando back in this. Please tell me that they're not just gonna be like 30 years passing and Lando's dead.
He might be dead.
I'm gonna be pissed.
He lived a risky life, you know.
I'm gonna be straight up pissed if Lando is dead.
I always loved Lando, but
who's gonna be Han's buddy?
Han's old. He doesn't need a buddy anymore.
Well, I guess he's got Chewbacca, but
yeah.
Who's his non-Harry buddy?
Well, you know what though? They're really both a couple of scoundrels who are kind of like frenemies, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that they don't have to be like together at the end. I almost feel like if you try and stick Lando in here, you're trying to put him in where he doesn't necessarily fit comfortably, and it's just to appease the audience and be like, oh, there's Lando, you know?
I have a feeling that if he is dead, that I have this theory that John Boyega might be his son.
Oh, okay.
And that he may have died or something in an accident, and John Boyega is being raised by Han and Leia.
I like it.
I think that would be cool.
That would be cool. Totally.
But yeah,
you know what?
Gotta have Billy D. Like,
I've seen Old Man Lando. It's called Dancing with the Stars, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty.
What do you mean? He's still smooth.
He's smooth. No, actually, he's not smooth anymore. He's more like bumpy. You know.
Did you see him in Fanboys, the movie Fanboys?
No, I don't think I did.
You seen Fanboys?
I don't think I have, actually.
Oh my God, Jason! You got to see that movie. Come on,
yeah.
man. How are you a Star Wars fan and not seen a movie that is a comedy about Episode 1? About friends in the 90s going to see Episode 1.
You know, I don't know.
That has cameos from Billy D. Williams, Carrie Fisher, I forget who else.
Oh, yes.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, I just brought it up. I recognize the movie poster very well. I remember seeing this actually in Blockbuster. Back when I worked at Blockbuster, and I never had I had no desire to see this movie.
I
had no desire. I was like, no, this is not going to be good. I'm not watching it.
You chose poorly. It's excellent.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. It seriously is excellent.
All right.
It takes place in the 90s, man. It has a 90s music track.
I'm always down with that.
It's got Chumbawamba. It's got Space Hog. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, Kristen Bell. It's got so many people in this. It's so funny. It is so funny.
Interesting.
It's a throwback to the 90s too, with, you know, cassette players and, you know, like
all
CDs
of my favorite
were just becoming a
things.
thing. Trek versus Star Wars nerds. It's got it all.
Yeah,
invading Skywalker Ranch. They break into Skywalker Ranch. It's got Danny McBride in it.
Wow. It really does have everyone in this movie.
It has Daryl, Craig Robinson. It's got Daryl from The Office.
Wow, it really does have everyone. Jesus.
It's got Will, the guy MacGruber. It's got MacGruber in it. It's got everybody in it.
Yeah, I gave it zero chance when it came out. I was like, this is going to be terrible.
It's got Roy from The Office.
All right, I'm going to give it a second look.
If you out there have not, if you're listening to this and you're Star Wars fans too, you should have seen Fanboys too. So I'm not just scolding Jason right now. I'm scolding you.
But
Go
see,
watch
I look at a movie like that and I go, is it really something that Star Wars fans will like, or is it just something
Yes.
that's making... Okay, there you go.
Because universally everyone hates Episode 1. And
True.
throughout the course of this film, they're trying to go see Episode 1, and they all think it's going to be the greatest thing on planet Earth.
Yeah, I remember that day.
And so knowing that and watching this makes it even funnier.
All right, I'm going to go back and watch it. There you go. I'm sold.
Do it.
All right. Do we have anything else with Star Wars news?
Oh, I could talk about Star Wars all day, Jason.
I hear you.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to move on. I want to just talk about Star Wars all podcast long.
Can we move along to talk Wolverine, maybe?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman, he is pretty sure, make that 99.9% sure, that the next Wolverine will be his last.
Boo! No, I'm just kidding. Hugh, thank you. Thank you for being one of the best superheroes brought to film and one of the first just truly amazing superheroes brought to film. I mean, I know Michael Keaton is Batman. I know Christopher Reeves is Superman. I know all that too. But for me, X-Men 1 was the movie that changed everything. In addition to Blade. I give Blade that too. But X-Men really, for a kind of a mainstream property, X-Men was the movie that blew everything away. And Hugh, you've been playing Wolverine for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And he basically is Wolverine because he looks better now than he did back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want this to be your last Wolverine movie, that's all your power, man. I just don't want to see you go, but I hope you go out on an epic note. Hopefully it's like something like an Old Man Logan story. Hopefully I hope he doesn't die. I hope he gets to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see. So he's going to be we've got him in X-Men Days of Future Past. They've got the Wolverine 2 is set to open in March 2017. Mm-hmm. And they're saying Jackman's still not sure that he's returning in the role of Logan.
Now I've heard that he's actually going to be in X-Men Apocalypse as well, which I think is coming before the next Wolverine movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we still have 3 movies with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in it. That's crazy. I think that if he does Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Old Man or whatever this last Wolverine movie is, he'll have been in 9 movies as Wolverine.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Get to 10. That would be awesome. Get to 10.
10. He should do 10. Just end it at 10. But he
and I can understand like getting tired of playing the character potentially, but I've never seen an actor like at Comic-Con when he talked about playing Wolverine truly express a love and an appreciation and a thankfulness for playing a single character for as long as he has. Most people are like, I'm done with it, you know?
Right.
But he's done this for so long, and every time he talks about it, you can tell that it holds a special place in his heart. And that just makes everyone love him all the more. So not only is Hugh Jackman an awesome actor, he's an awesome human being too.
He is. So he said that, they're talking it through. He is still very ambitious for the character. And tonally, he said, I feel like we corrected the ship with the last one, but I feel we can still go further in a way. Which, in this article here, they said translations, Origins sucked, but the Wolverine wasn't as good as it could have been.
Correct. I really liked the Wolverine.
Yeah.
I really did. Now, the last 15 minutes of that movie, kind of weird, did not fit the rest of the movie. It went from being a Dark Knight-ish-esque, like, Wolverine story. Have you seen it?
No, I still haven't seen it. I put it off.
It went from being, seriously, a dark, gritty, realistic, I mean, the dude has claws, but a very realistic take on, and very dark, very kind of noir take on Wolverine being in Japan.
Yeah.
To the last 20 minutes going full out balls to the wall superhero.
Wow.
And it was like, what? Like, huh? Where did that go? Where did that come from? Apparently that was pushed back from the studio and everything, wanting them to make it more comic booky because they felt like if kids had to sit through the whole thing and they didn't have some big special effects extravaganza at the end of the film, that they would have hated it.
Oh.
But no one hated The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
No one hated that. It could have been so much better, but it was still a very good film.
Studios. The problem with movies.
Messing up Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the Wolverine.
All right, next up. If you're a fan, you will be happy to know that Super Troopers 2 is going to be happening.
It's a go right meow.
I'm freaking out, man.
Meow.
The script is written. The deal has been agreed on with the studio, and they said we are in the stage though where we need to raise the financing. It's nothing out of the ordinary. The studio is just the distributor, and we are the ones who have to bring the money to the table. So it's a lot of money we have to raise. So there you go.
Well, get me a liter of cola and a gallon of popcorn, and I'll be in the theater that first day.
There you go. Little Super Troopers 2.
That's flown under the radar. No one has talked about that.
No.
I mean, I know it was posted as a story on IGN, but literally no one has talked about it. AMC Movie Talk hasn't talked about it. Jeremy Johns hasn't talked about it. Chris Stuckman hasn't talked about it. None of the big time YouTube people have talked about it. And I'm like, it's Super Troopers.
No one has the same love that you do? What's going on here?
People love Super Troopers almost as much as Office Space.
Really?
I think so.
I saw
you
it.
boys like Mexico. Like, come on. That movie's awesome.
When did that come out? I hardly remember it.
Maybe it's because it came out like my later years in high school and early into college, so it was like the perfect college type film.
Could be. That could be.
So it's one of those films you just watch with your buddies.
2001. 2001.
Yeah. So yeah.
It was the year before I got married. I was 25. Yeah.
So it's
I was past my prime.
You just watch like over and over again. Like, it's so good. It's so good. If you say shenanigans one more time right now, I'm gonna pistol whip you. There's so many good lines in that movie.
Next in movie news, new Power Rangers movie is announced. Power Rangers fans, guess what? On the heels of the 20th anniversary, Power Rangers returning to the big screen. They're teaming up with Lionsgate, the studio behind The Hunger Games, for a new film. It sounds like it could be considered a reboot, and they said that they will re-envision the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So there you go.
Putting my name in, I want to play Zordon. Just throwing it out there. Put me in a big tube and my face up there, all big and bloated looking. I will play Zordon. I will do it.
Yeah.
This whole week, this whole past like week and a half has been nothing but like Pokemon, Star Wars, Power Rangers, Terminator, Super Troopers, Gotham. It's like everything I love this week is getting announced. Next week, Godzilla's coming out.
It is. It really is.
It's like,
overload.
So, well, and especially the things like Power Rangers. Like, I thought Power Rangers was dead.
Yeah.
I thought, it's one of those things I love from my childhood. Love it. But it's one of those things that I would never watch again.
Yeah.
I might buy like a Power Rangers action figure or something, like, because I had to give away all my old ones. But I might buy like a nostalgic type one just to keep around, and put it all with all my other geek stuff that I'm kind of recollecting now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and Lionsgate does the Hunger Games, so if they can create something and make these kind of kids not big caricatures and everything, and make it kind of mature but teen mature,
right,
and treat it with respect, it could be really good.
It could be. It could be good.
Pacific Rim meets Voltron meets the Hunger Games.
For me, Power Rangers was one of those things that came out when I was in high school. So again, I was like, no, what are these kids watching? Now, if they were going to announce a Voltron movie, yo, I'm all in.
Well, they should do that too. But yeah, I mean, basically Power Rangers is kind of like Voltron.
Right, where you have all your different colored characters and everything. But
and they all jump in robots that all combine to make a bigger person robot. So instead of them all being tigers, or like a mastodon and a tiger and a pterodactyl and a tyrannosaurus and a tiger all join up to become Voltron, basically, instead of them all being, they're all lions in Voltron.
Maybe it's because I had the 17-year-old mindset when it came out, but I always thought of the Power Rangers, though, even though there's similarities we're pointing out, as like the Power Rangers are just cheesy kid stuff, and Voltron, that was just so much more, super awesome and grown up, and for the real.
It's the same thing, though. They have the nerdy Voltron kid, they had the nerdy Power Ranger, they had the cute girl, the main normal kind of stoic, like hero typical lead. They had the rebel. Everything is like a mirror.
I've never drawn that conclusion, and now my mind has just been blown. Thank you for that.
It's a mirror.
It really is.
And so yeah, we have a Power Rangers movie coming. What?
Let's hope it's cool.
We have a Warcraft movie. We have a Power Rangers movie coming. We have a new Terminator movie coming. We have more Star Wars, which I thought was dead. Like,
look at that.
I don't know what to do with myself, man. I seriously don't. Like, it's insane. We got Batman and Superman in the same movie, even though that movie could be terrible. Like, these past few years, we finally getting Apocalypse in an X-Men movie, man. I know I'm having a freak out rant right here, but like, holy crap.
Yeah.
10 years ago, this shit wouldn't be happening. Oh,
No.
Sorry. This stuff would not be happening. Crazy.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's so good to see, it's so nice to see. I love it. It's not just niche anymore for those crazy sci-fi fans and those nerds out there who are taking over. No. We have invaded. We are here. And it's popular now. And speaking of awesome geeky sci-fi stuff, former Doctor Who star who was the Doctor, Matt Smith, joins the Terminator Genesis cast. This is a brand new piece of casting news. He will play a new character with a strong connection to John Connor in the film. So there you go. He joins Emilia Clarke, Jason Clarke, Jay Courtney, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the cast.
You said Amelia, and my mind first went like, what? Pond? What?
Amelia Pond, yes.
Yes. But Emilia Clarke, he's joining Danny Okay, here's how I want this Terminator Genesis thing to go down.
Okay.
I know it ain't, but this is how it's going to go
Dragons
down.
and TARDISes? Go on.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Matt Smith's playing the Doctor.
Uh-huh.
He saved John Connor from a crack in his wall, ate fish fingers and custard.
Right.
Then Terminators came down, and they were basically impervious to bullets, so the only way that you're going to kill them is with dragon fire, because dragon fire is the only thing hot enough to melt their exoskeletons. So he goes to Westeros, grabs Daenerys Targaryen and her dragons, comes over, and melts all the Terminators.
I love this movie. I love that movie. That is a great movie. It's my new favorite movie. I love it.
Done. Like, couldn't that be an episode of Doctor Who?
It actually could be an episode of Doctor Who.
I mean, they had dinosaurs on a spaceship on Doctor Who because someone wrote that down and was just like, I'm just going to make an episode of dinosaurs on a spaceship. Complete irreverence to awesomeness. That's what I loved about that show.
Yep.
I don't know how Matt Smith fits into this world.
I don't know either. It'll be interesting to see the type of character he plays and how they actually have him portray a character in a movie like this, because if we know him as the Doctor, we know him as super goofy and real, just like energetic, and so to see him maybe play something a little more straight and maybe more serious, possibly, it'll be really interesting to see. I like the guy. I like him as an actor, so I'm looking forward to it.
A Time Lord in a movie with time travel. Also, both those things, the time travel doesn't make sense because it's all wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. And I hope that Matt Smith says that in the movie. I hope they do some time travel stuff, and he's like, well, how does it work? He's like, I don't know, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Right. That would probably be a little cheesy. Just saying. And finally, Picture Show news. We do have the first trailer for the new show Gotham has been revealed. And I watched this trailer a few days ago when it got released, and instantly I watched this thing with goosebumps. I had chills on top of chills watching it. And I don't typically get that type of feeling for a network TV show anymore. But man, Gotham just had me feeling really, really good about it. So I'm really looking forward to the story of the young Jim Gordon. You know, in the trailer, he's meeting the kid Bruce Wayne. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential for exploring the city of Gotham here in the pre-Batman world with young Jim Gordon. Oh, I think it's going to be good.
Bro, if that gave you goosebumps, you got 2 seasons of a show, which is the season finale for season 2, which has been one of the best single seasons of TV I've ever seen right now to watch.
Yes.
It's called Arrow.
I do need to watch it.
Same tone.
Nice.
Same dark, gothic city type tone. Like Starling City in Arrow is just like Gotham.
Oh, nice.
Just like that. Even a little bit less cartoony at points.
Oh.
Now I loved. At first, I was really reserved with how much I was going to like this, because one, the Penguin's not fat and he's kind of tall, and that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I like all the allusions to all the young supervillains. I don't know if I like that. Everything else about it I loved, but the whole like him having a relationship, we talked about this in the past.
Yeah,
him having a relationship with young Bruce Wayne is weird. Catwoman being Catwoman already when she's a little girl is really weird to me.
Yeah, it is. And I don't like when they always feel the need to kind of fit things like that in to draw those connections that you might not necessarily need.
Right. I felt like they could do the stuff with like Carmine Falcone and, you know, that crime family and all the other ones. And they could build it up slowly, right? They didn't have to just roll call it through Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman. Like, they didn't have to do that right away.
Well, it's almost like they're afraid if they don't introduce familiar characters, people aren't going to watch.
Yeah.
So
They did with Arrow, and people weren't familiar with a lot of supervillains in that either. I mean, Deathstroke wasn't even mentioned until I think episode like 12 of season 1.
But what channel is Arrow on?
CW.
Right. It's not Fox, which, you know, Fox and ABC, NBC, okay. I think they're going to...
I forgot it's on Fox, the Destroyer of Dreams. Almost Human got canceled this week. I never watched that, but I was looking forward to... that was a show I was waiting for to come up, you know, the full season on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something. And I was like, yeah, I'll get caught up and then I'll watch season 2.
Yeah.
Nope. Got canceled too.
Wow.
Thanks a lot, Fox.
That was fast.
So yeah, I mean, I think it looks much better than I thought it was going to. I don't know if it gave me goosebumps or not, but it looked much better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
That was the only gripe was the roll call with the villain thing.
Right. So that is going to do it for our picture show news this week, and we are now going to talk a little tech with Technobabble. All right, Technobabble time, where we talk technology. And first up to bat, Google Docs and Sheets apps have been launched for iOS devices. That's right. Google debuted 2 standalone iOS apps for the documents and spreadsheets. So you can now do Google Docs, Google Sheets on your phone, on your iPhone, on your iPad, all that sort of stuff. I like this. I'm a big Google Docs guy, Google Spreadsheet guy. I'm all about just having it in the cloud. Boom. I can just have my documents everywhere I need them. So if I need to access something easy from my phone now, that's awesome. I've tried editing a Google Spreadsheet, trying to log in via the website before. Awful experience. So for those of us who like to use the Google Docs and Google Sheets, I'm pretty happy to see that they're getting launched with new iOS apps.
I love it just because it allows me to only have one program running, like on my computer, right? So like I use them now for everything. The cloud thing, of course, is great, and that's one thing that everyone talks about. But for me, like not having to have like Word, PowerPoint, all that stuff open, it's like all in the little tabs right there in the same thing. So I'm not closing windows and opening windows. I'm just clicking on tabs, you know, to work on things. super productive. Actually, before this even, you could edit docs and sheets, Google Docs and Sheets, in their Google Drive application on iOS, which I was doing for a while there. Now, this is kind of like one of those things where like Facebook spun off their Messenger so that it would run more efficiently and so that their app wouldn't be so bloated. Same thing here. The Google Docs and Sheets run a little more stable than they did when they were inside of the Google Drive app.
Maybe that's where I failed. I didn't have the Drive app. My bad.
Yeah. And you could view PowerPoint things. The strange thing to me is that their slides, their PowerPoint surrogate, doesn't have support for editing at all on any of the mobile platforms, which is strange to me.
Yeah, it's really strange. Really strange.
Maybe I'm sure they're working.
Yeah. Hopefully. Next up, leaked images now reveal what Amazon's new smartphone might look like. Amazon now released their own television device, and now we're talking Amazon's first smartphone, possibly a 4.7-inch display screen. We've got some leaked photos here. It's very standard modern cell phone, almost iPhone-esque from some of the leaked images that we've got here. Doesn't really look much different than anything else on the market. There are some reported specs of the 4.7-inch screen, 720p display, the quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, a forked version of Android, which is not unlike the Kindle Fire tablets. The phone is also said to use four front-facing infrared cameras to produce a glasses-free 3D-like effect and enable various gesture-based controls. They're expected to reveal it this June.
As if we needed one more cell phone provider. But, they said that about the set-top box thing, right? Like, as if we needed one more. I bought a Fire TV. I actually really like it.
Nice.
Not that much greater functionality than, like, my Roku 3, but... and it doesn't have the beaming thing like, the AirPlay thing from the Apple TV. But overall, for a first shot at a set-top streaming box, really cool. So if you don't have a set-top streaming box and you'd like one, consider the Amazon Fire TV, because even though it's new, it's still pretty solid.
That's cool. I need to get one of those set-top boxes. I have none yet. I keep thinking about it. Next up in Technobabble news, in case you weren't having enough convenience shopping online in your life, Amazon now lets you shop through Twitter. That's right. If you feel like, one-click buying on Amazon's just too difficult for you, you need a faster way to shop. Well, with 140 characters, you can go on Twitter. If you reply to any tweet that has an Amazon link and you use the hashtag AmazonCart, that's the US. It's Amazon Basket in the UK because they like their baskets as opposed to carts. As long as your Twitter account and your Amazon account have been linked together and connected, you can, reply any Amazon link, hashtag Amazon cart, and it will add it to your Amazon shopping cart. So you can now add things to your cart via Twitter. How's that for hyper convenient?
I think it's really clunky.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to do it. I would just want to click on the link and then put it in. Like, a little strange.
Yeah,
Cool that they're doing it, but I'm like, I would still click on the Twitter link and then just go buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of what steps do you want to do? Do you want to click the link, then you want to go there, look at it, or do you want to just see it, hit reply, hashtag, blah, blah, blah. It probably doesn't save you that much time in the long run, but what it does do, and which I'm sure Amazon is probably banking on, is the fact that when you retweet that, you're just putting out more publicity for Amazon and for the products. And it's that social sharing and that social proof that, look, Amazon is awesome and I'm buying a product from them and you should too.
Right. That's the whole purpose behind all of this.
Right. Next up, Symantec. You may know them from the Norton antivirus. Well, they're now saying, guess what? Antivirus is dead. That's right. They're going to declare antivirus software dead. Kind of an interesting story here. Wall Street Journal reports Brian Dye, Symantec's senior vice president for information security, said, antivirus is dead. We don't think of antivirus as a moneymaker in any way. Antivirus products aim to prevent hackers from getting into a computer, but hackers get in anyway these days. They were saying in this article that, despite all the blocking of viruses that we have now, there's so many still getting in, more getting in than they can possibly even block anymore. So what they're trying to do now is shift their focus. So rather than fighting to keep the bad guys out, they're trying to create new technologies that assume that hackers are going to get in, spot them, and then minimize the damage that they can actually do to your computer. So it's almost like they're saying, look, they're going to get in. We can't stop them. As much as we think we can stop them, we can't. So let's try and eradicate them once they've gotten in. Let's kick them out and minimize any damage they do. It's a different approach.
I'm saying this snidely and sarcastically, but not really. Or you buy Mac. But no, I think that's good. The only thing I will say this, I think this is a better strategy for them. Why not try to kill viruses on the internet? Well, instead of saying viruses are going to get in, right, and we're going to minimize damage, why not have another division that's strictly going out there trying to eliminate viruses from the internet? Like Internet Cop.
Well, I don't know if you can actually do that, though, because you're always going to have somebody putting a new one out every single day, Yeah. I mean, it says here's the number I was looking for. They're saying that they estimate that antiviruses now catch only 45% of cyber attacks. So over half are getting through.
Only you can prevent internet stupidity.
That's true.
Don't click on weird links, people.
That is true. Don't go to sketchy sites. I know you guys out there looking at your adult material, downloading your BitTorrents.
You sounded like Newman from Jurassic Park. Don't do that stuff, man.
Don't do it. You're only opening yourself up to a whole world of hurt. I had read articles before where there are some of the top security experts that don't even use antivirus because they know the right ways of doing things and where not to go.
Yep.
So there you go. Or just buy a Mac, I guess. Because nobody wants to attack Macs nearly as much as they want to attack Windows.
It's because all the virus creators are Mac users. That's the giant conspiracy, right? Like they all are Mac users, and they're like, we just want to blow up Microsoft.
Yeah, I picture them all using like Linux, all command line, no graphic, graphic interface or anything, just like.
I picture them as like Alan Cumming from GoldenEye, his Russian character twirling the pin in his hands all the time.
Yeah.
Saying, yes, I am invincible.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I picture computer like.
And finally, in Technobabble news, Apple reportedly trying to acquire Beats for $3.2 billion. They're reportedly, as of this report, close to sealing a deal with Beats, the makers of Beats by Dre headphone line and the recently launched Beats music streaming service. Apple is putting together this plan to spend $3.2 billion to make it one of the costliest and most high-profile acquisitions that they have ever made. There's not a lot of other details right now, but I guess it would give a boost by acquiring the Beats music service to iTunes Radio, and so it's probably something that they want to add to their repertoire to increase their iTunes Radio.
I don't like this at all because I don't think it makes any bit of sense when it comes to branding with Apple, right? Like, I don't want Apple to own a non-Apple branded product. What are they going to change them to? Beats by Apple?
Right, Apple Beats or something.
That just seems dumb.
iBeats.
I almost think that what they're going to do is they're buying this, acquiring it all, and then they're going to shell off the headphones line.
The hardware part. Yeah.
They just want the technology and the contracts and everything, I think, from the Beats music service.
Yeah, I could totally see that too. They want the music service.
Yeah, they want the music service because I imagine it's got a lot of legal work that's already gone into that they don't want to put time into, so that they can then compete with services like Spotify and other services like that.
Right.
And so, which would be cool, but I don't want to see people walking around with Apple Beats headphones. That's just weird.
Yeah.
And knowing that Apple makes even if they don't go Apple Beats, right? They just go Beats by Dre still, or just Beats.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
knowing that they're an Apple company.
Knowing that they're an Apple company is just strange. It doesn't make sense in my head.
No, because they've never done that before, really.
Right.
So.
Never. It's a very HP-esque model, and it makes me not trust Tim Cook.
Yeah. We shall see how they handle that and if the deal goes through and whatnot. So we'll stay tuned for more news on that one. And those are our Technobabble topics this week. Now let's have a little fun jumping inside the loot bag.
It's loot bag time. Come on, grab your friends and we'll snag the latest nerdy trends. So grab your pogs and fight some mutants. Fun will never end. It's loot bag time.
And it's loot bag time once again, where we go inside the loot bag and see what kind of mystical, magical, wonderful goodies Jacob has in store for you.
So this week, I'm going to go back to an oldie here. And simply because it's something I've already had on the show before, but simply because I want to give you an update on all the things that are out and that have come out in the simple, 13, 14 weeks since we started doing the show? Something like that. In just that amount of time, these are the amount of new pop vinyls that have come out in the time being. Now, keep in mind, some of these aren't things that you would ever expect there to be a pop vinyl out for. So first off, Dragon Ball Z, awesome. Ghostbusters, even more awesome. I'm straight up getting the whole set. Although they're racist because they haven't made a Winston one yet. What?
Those jerks.
What? Winston's my favorite. Get me a Winston pop figurine. Stat. But they also they have the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy getting that whenever I see it. Arrested Development. They have Arrested Development ones. They got Blue Dude from Arrested Development. Like
David Cross. I love
it. They got a bunch of Arrested Development ones. They got Scarface in his car. They got Pulp Fiction. They got Jules. And they got
awesome.
people from all up in Pulp Fiction. They got Guardians of the Galaxy. Magic the Gathering. What? Are there established characters in Magic the Gathering? Okay. Teen Titans. Captain America the Winter Soldier. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Flintstones. Reppin' old school.
That's crazy.
Back to the Future in the DeLorean. Where the Wild Things Are. The Big Lebowski. What?
That's awesome, by the way.
I'm getting the dude.
You got to get the dude.
I'm going to have the dude.
He's
going to be in my office. It's already planned. They also have come out. I don't know if this is a newer thing or just something that they've moved up on their website, but they have do-it-yourself vinyls now. So they're completely white male and female vinyls that you can buy and paint and create characters yourself with them. Super cool. And last but not least, now there's many more that I haven't mentioned that have come out since we last had our show, but these are the ones that I find most interesting. I think I mentioned Thundercats last time, but if not, they have Thundercats ones now too. I haven't seen a Panthro one yet, but I'm waiting for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last one here, and possibly my favorite, they have. Get ready for this.
Da da da.
A Sharknado pop figurine.
That is
Straight
crazy.
up Sharknado. It is a tornado that has a pop figurine shark inside of it. Boom!
Doesn't get much better than that.
Mind blown. And no, we are not affiliated with Pop at all.
No.
I just love this crap. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Funko does not pay us.
And I just wanted to let all of you know how much cool stuff is out there. Again, awesome gifts. So just go hit up Amazon. They have new Game of Thrones ones too. They have a Brienne of Tarth with them, which I'm planning on buying. Hit up Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Here's what I do when I buy my pop figurines. I get coupons from Barnes. I signed up for Barnes & Noble's newsletter. I get coupons from Barnes & Noble. Every other week, basically, I get 2 of them that are 20% off. I have a membership at Barnes & Noble, so that's another 10% off. And the pop figurines, they're all $8.99. Boom, I get a pop figurine for $6.
Good item. Good item.
Do it. Do it.
You know, I didn't tell you this. I don't think I signed up for the last Loot Crate, the Dragons one.
Mm-hmm.
And I got they had the little mystery mini in there.
Yep. Which one did you get?
I got Daenerys.
Oh,
I was pretty happy about that.
There's a Tyrion one. I really wanted the Tyrion one. I got the White Walker, which is it made me mad because I have a White Walker pop figurine. I have five Game of Thrones pop figurines. I have the White Walker, the Hound, Khal Drogo, Khaleesi, Daenerys in Khaleesi form, and Rhaegal. All came in a set. And then I also got the Dragonborn from Skyrim, and well, not a pop figurine, but another thing that Funko made that came in that Loot Crate. I got the Dragonborn thing. You got everyone got the Dragonborn thing, right?
Yep.
So
got that one too.
So yeah, I got the White Walker. Cool. I really wanted Tyrion.
The only one I didn't want was the White Walker. And when I opened it up, I was like, what's it going to be? And when it was Daenerys holding a little dragon, I was like, I freaking love this. Yes.
Yeah. I got the White Walker. I mean, I don't hate him. I'm just like, my pop figurine White Walker looks so much cooler.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him right now. He's looking at me too.
Oh.
I hope he puts his finger on me and turns me into a little White Walker baby.
Nice. All right. So that's it. That's Loot Bag segment this week. And with the Loot Bag, that marks the end of another episode of the Mach 5 Network Geek News Podcast. You can, again, find us across social media, and we are there, Mach 5 Network. Look us up, become the listener of the week, join in on all the fun we're having with Flipboard and all of that good stuff. And until next week with more geek news, we will talk to you guys later. Take care.
Peace out.
This has been a Mach 5 Network production. Be sure to subscribe to our shows on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Mach 5 Network. Follow us on Twitter at Mach 5 Network and email us at mach5network@gmail.com. Until next week, I'm your announcer, Crown Jules, logging off.